Hey there, welcome to Module 3. In this module, we will talk about self-compassion, respect, and emotional eating. Lesson 1 is all about developing self-compassion. So let's dive right in. Before we move forward, I want to explain the difference between self-esteem and self-compassion. It's important for you to know that they are not the same thing. Self-esteem refers to our sense of self-worth, perceived value, or how much we like ourselves. Self-esteem is based on how different we are from others, how much we stand out or are special from others. It's also contingent on our latest success or failure, and can lead to narcissism, comparison, and ego defensiveness. The biggest thing that separates self-esteem from self-compassion is that self-esteem fluctuates based on our latest experiences. You can have high self-esteem in one area, but completely low self-esteem in another, or one day you may have high self-esteem and another day it's low. On the contrary, self-compassion is feeling good about ourselves without needing to feel better than others or needing to be the best. For example, self-compassion is recognizing that you don't need to be at your skinniest self before you can love yourself. Let me read that again. Self-compassion is recognizing that you don't need to be at your skinniest self before you can love yourself. Self-compassion is love and appreciation no matter what the circumstance. Self-compassion is not based on self-evaluations. You don't have to feel better than others to feel good about yourself. It's not dependent on what's going on around you, and it also recognizes that all humans deserve compassion. Research indicates that self-compassion is associated with greater emotional resilience, more accurate self-concepts, more caring relationship behavior, as well as less narcissism and reactive anger. Let's talk about the 3 components of self-compassion, and as we go along, I will talk about how to develop them in your own life. The 3 components are self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. Self-kindness is the ability to recognize that difficulties, failures, and imperfections are a fact of life, and to still be gentle with yourself when confronted with these experiences. It is accepting reality with kindness, warmth, and understanding, rather than ignoring our pain or self-criticizing. Self-kindness is not a justification like we talked about before. It is being kind to the present moment and also being kind to the potential for growth or change that you want to see. Common humanity is recognizing that suffering and personal inadequacy is part of the shared human experience. It is accepting that pain is something that we all go through, instead of thinking you are alone in your sufferings. Have you ever noticed that your trials have been a little easier to bear when you've heard of a story of someone that has been through your experience? It makes it even less burdensome if it is someone close that you can talk to. Mindfulness is a non-judgmental observation of thoughts and feelings as they are, without trying to suppress, deny, or exaggerate them. Mindfulness is bringing the thoughts and feelings to light, but not trying to change them. It's accepting them as they are. As time goes on, you can learn how to deal with them as they come up. So, how can you develop self-compassion? Follow these 3 steps. 1, I want you to learn how to be kind to yourself. 2, change your critical self-talk. And 3, take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself as you would a dear friend. Talk to yourself in kind, reassuring words, and accept and love yourself as you are. I want you to think about how a close friend would talk to you. They would probably cheer you on, remind you that everything will be okay, and offer lots of support and love. How can you treat yourself as that dear friend using kind words and loving yourself as you are? Change your critical self-talk. Observe your negative self-talk and then soften the words with positive phrases just as a close friend would. The first thing that we must do is to observe the way that we talk to ourselves. Is it hurtful, belittling, or rude? Sometimes it's very enlightening to see just how negatively we talk to and about ourselves without even realizing we do it. Try to soften that self-talk by remembering how you would speak to a dear friend. Use those kind words, positive phrases, and encouragement. You deserve it. The third method for developing self-compassion is to take care of yourself. Make self-care activities a priority in your life. Adults are often horrible at this. We have so many responsibilities to meet the needs of others at home, at work, in our church, and our communities. We are often the last on the priority list. But if you intend to be the best caregiver possible, you must first find ways to nourish your own self. This may be a tough one, but I want to challenge you to think of hobbies or self-care activities that you enjoy and try making it a priority. It may be hard to think of something you really want to do because you've been pleasing others for so long. I want you to take a minute to sit and think about it. Do you like to walk? Do you like to read? Do you like other people to pamper you? Maybe you need a trip to the local spa. Or how about trying a yoga class? There are lots of possibilities. Take a minute, pick one, and try it out. Your action item for today is to practice the 3 steps to developing more compassion for yourself. Maybe you start with just identifying your negative self-talk and rephrasing it into kinder, softer, and more loving words. Or try out a self-care activity that puts you first. Yes, I said it, put yourself first for once. The people around you will get what they need if you are well nourished and taken care of. I recommend not rushing through this one. This is something that will take time to develop, so please keep coming back to it even as we move forward in the class.